Hey, it's Marc, and this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of May 5th, 2021. Happy New Comic Book Day. Happy Revenge of the Fifth Day, if you're a Star Wars fan. I'm here to give you my recommendations for this week's best comics that you should pick up at your local comic shop. And we're going to start things off with Eve, issue number 1, published by Boom Studios, written by Victor LaValle, artwork by Joe Ming-gyong. This is a post-apocalyptic ecological adventure story where the main character is an 11-year-old girl, and she has been kind of kept in stasis or grown up in kind of like a hyperbolic oxygen tank, has possibly never breathed air in her life. But she is awakened, and she is awakened by her android teddy bear, which is her guide on her mission to possibly save the planet. The setup is just really fantastic with this. You're already kind of attached to the main character by the time you get halfway through the first issue, and it looks like it's going to be a heck of a ride. Another winner from Boom Studios that I think fans of Wind will enjoy, fans of post-apocalyptic stories, basically fans of good comics. If you like good comics, you're going to like Eve number 1. Not only was it my staff pick, but it was my wife Angie's staff pick. So in our household, it was unanimous. Eve is the best book of the week. There's also a great letter in the back from Victor LaValle talking about why he wrote this story. So you want to check that out. And as I go through this week's stack, I'll mention that there were several letters from creators in the back of books this week, which are all worth your time. Next up, big thumbs up for Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha, written by Charles Soule, artwork by Steve McNiven. This kicks off the big crossover event within Marvel's 4 existing Star Wars titles and tells the story of how Boba Fett gets the frozen in carbonite Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt at the end of Empire Strikes Back, or after The Empire Strikes Back and before Return of the Jedi. And it is not an easy path for Boba Fett at all. Steve McNiven does a tremendous job with the art duties on this. I don't think I've ever seen him draw a Star Wars comic before, but he's getting to play with characters and creatures and settings that I think are just going to draw you into the story. The artwork is fantastic, and we all know that Charles Soule can write one heck of a Star Wars story. So this is a must-buy for any Star Wars fan. If I had the stamp logo, it would be like must-buy. Star Wars, War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha. Next up, let's talk about Heroes Reborn, issue number 1. This is a 5-issue miniseries from Marvel Comics, and I gotta tell you, I was not looking forward to this at all. Felt artificial, like artificially created, and I guess you could say that all comics are artificially created. But the other component is I really don't care about the Squadron Supreme. I'm sorry, Mark Grunwald. I just don't care about the Squadron Supreme at all. And Marvel keeps trying to shoehorn Squadron Supreme into the Marvel Universe with every opportunity that they have. Kind of like what they were doing with Inhumans before the Inhumans TV series bombed. But, having said all of that, I really enjoyed Heroes Reborn number 1. I enjoyed it because I'm a longtime Marvel Comics fan. There's a lot to like in here if you've been a Marvel reader for a while. And even if you haven't, you'll be able to pick it up. We're kind of guided into this story by Blade, who's been unaffected by whatever world-changing event has happened that has eliminated the Avengers from our world and established the Squadron Supreme as Earth's mightiest heroes. So Blade is going to be our guide on this journey. And as I said, I really dug it. I think Marvel fans, you're going to absolutely want to check out Heroes Reborn number 1. Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal, issue number 1 from AWA Studios, written by Garth Ennis, artwork by Goran Sudzuka. So it's a Garth Ennis book. You kind of know what you're getting yourself into. You're getting yourself into lots of violence, probably some humor, and some inappropriate content. And that's what you get with this. If you want to read a Garth Ennis story that is kind of Boys-esque, of course, Garth Ennis was a co-creator on The Boys. Longtime writer on Punisher, but this has a much lighter tone to it. Still lots of violence and lots of humor. And read the letter in the back from Garth Ennis in this one as well. He talks about how he came up with the title for the book before he came up with the concept for the book. And that's an interesting way to go about things. But I dug it. I liked it. And again, my wife liked it. And despite the ultra violence, Angie liked it. She liked it. Next up, The Good Asian, issue number 1 by Pornsak Pinchati. I got to talk to this creator to find out how to pronounce his name. Artwork by Alexander Tefengi. Tricky. So, Pornsak Pinchati, if that's how you pronounce it, I'm sorry, is the writer of Infidel, probably one of the best horror comics of the last 5 years, I would say. Published by Image Comics. Highly recommend you check it out. So I think this is only his second creator-owned work. He hasn't done a whole lot of comics work, and he really puts a lot of time and research and thought into his books. So The Good Asian is based in historical fact. It is a work of fiction, but based in history. It takes place in 1936 in San Francisco, and our main character is an Asian immigrant who is actually a detective within the San Francisco Police Department, and is kind of the token Asian, if you will, and has to put up with a lot of crap from his white male coworkers, and that leads him into kind of having to do things that he doesn't want to do, especially to people of the same ethnicity as he is. But this is a fantastic crime noir story. If you're a fan of Brubaker and Phillips' work, if you're a fan of just the crime noir genre or history, I think you're really going to enjoy The Good Asian. And again, there's a great letter from the writer in the back, kind of talking about what compelled him to tell this story. Lots of great pull quotes on the back from James Tinian, Cliff Chang, Rob Thomas, creator of Veronica Mars, Not Matchbox 20, Rob Thomas, and Brian Azzarello. The Thanos Quest is part of the Marvel Tales line this week. So this is an oversized issue that collects the 2-issue miniseries, The Thanos Quest. And that was written by Jim Starlin with artwork by Ron Lim, and sets up how Thanos goes about collecting all the Infinity Stones, or gems, as they were called before the movies, and leads into the Infinity Gauntlet. So if you want to see how Thanos got all of the stones in the world of comics, this story's been out of print for a while, so it's nice to get this in a brand new package with brand new artwork, and there's not a lot of Thanos out there in the comics world right now. So there you go. A couple new graphic novels that I highly recommend. First is Dead Man Logan. This collects the entire 12-issue miniseries by Ed Brisson and Mike Henderson, and is the swan song for Old Man Logan, who was kind of an important part of the Marvel Universe for a few years. When regular Logan, Wolverine, was deceased, we had Old Man Logan running around, and it's so good. The way that they brought this character into the Marvel Universe, and then the way that they send him out, it's really good for especially for Wolverine fans. If you're a Wolverine fan, this is a must-buy. Insert must-buy stamp. And finally, we have a softcover collection of Tales from the Crypt, Volume 1. This is published by Dark Horse. They're reprinting the EC archives. Oh my gosh, this is like a facsimile edition because it's got the letters, the original letters. It's also got some of the original ads. I saw one a second ago. See if I can find it. Maybe it wasn't an ad. Maybe it was just a letter. More letters pages. Ooh, there's an ad. There's an ad in there. This is a steal for $20. $20 for this Tales from the Crypt. Tales from the Crypt. Stales. I haven't had enough coffee this morning. Tales from the Crypt. Oversized softcover. $20. Some of the most influential comics and eyebrow-raising comics of all time. That's a steal, ladies and gents. I hope you go check it out. I hope you go visit your local comic shop this week and show them some love. Pick up some fantastic comics. Let me know what you picked up. If you enjoyed my recommendations and this video, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe for future updates, and leave a comment or two. If you have any questions related to the world of comics, the comic book industry, any of that stuff, I'm happy to answer those for you. I appreciate you spending some time with me today, and I will see you again very soon.